Hello Virgo, and welcome to your very first reading from Shasharishi. Let's consult the oracle. So I'm going to select a deck for you now, and this will be about a 20-minute reading. Sometimes it veers towards 30, but we will just see what we've got. Just to make you aware, there are two dogs with me, so if you hear them clattering about, you'll know why. So what deck wants to read for Virgo? Not that one. I think it's this one. Tower of the Mystical Moments. So if you want to follow me on social media, my Instagram is at @shasha_crow. And that's where I mainly post. And here on YouTube. I don't have the capacity for posting on every single social media channel at this time, but maybe in the future, who knows? Never say never. Okay, spirit guides, ancestors and angels, what are the messages for Virgo at this time? Again, it's a timeless reading. It does not have a particular focus in terms of career, love or anything like that. It is more, what does Virgo need to know right now? We'll be very soon moving into Virgo season when I'm at the time when I'm reading this. But if it comes to you at a different time, that's the right time for you. And if it doesn't resonate, it's not going to resonate for every single Virgo out there. If it doesn't resonate, just leave it alone. Leave it for someone else. Okay. Messages for Virgo, please. Interesting. That's Zara making her way into the living room. That's too many cards. Traditional Celtic cross is the spread that I'm doing. Okay, Virgo, right, okay, so the central card here is the King of Wands. So the King of Wands, that was what I said was interesting. The King of Wands is a card where we have power, we have passion, but we have a sense of control as well. So in the reverse, King of Wands can be a bit controlling, but actually in the upright, it's this kind of full power, full authority sense. And this is, in this deck, we have female kings as well as male kings, or feminine kings as well as masculine kings. It is crossed by the devil. So the energy at the moment seems to be saying that your capacity to bring forth your most powerful self is being potentially hindered by some sort of negative spiral or habit pattern or even addiction that you have, things that you keep going back to, whether that's kind of negative thought spirals of behavior, addictions to, you know, overeating, undereating, alcohol, literally anything. It's what holds you back, basically. And it's interesting, this devil is coming through as almost like a fly agaric mushroom. So, and a spider as well. So we get caught in the web of the spider And the medicine maybe becomes a poison. So sometimes things are good for us, sometimes things are not, and it's the dose. I think, who is it? I don't know, someone like Socrates or something, that says it's the dose that makes the poison. It's the dose that makes the poison. So how much of something are you indulging in, and is it holding you back from being your fullest, most powerful self to achieve whatever it is that you have on your plate, you've decided on your plan to achieve? So in the recent past, we have the King of Pentacles. It seems there's been some increase of financial stability, perhaps, or you've realized, you know, your value to a certain degree more than you have done in the past, and that's moving into the past. So that's not to say that you're no longer going to recognize your value. It is that you've established yourself to a degree, a rung on the ladder, a way of being, and also got your health perhaps to a certain point. So it's resources, money, energy, etc. And then in the near future, we've got the Page of Swords. So it looks as though it might be time for you to write some of the knowledge you have down. And perhaps this period of time where you're sorting out where you could be potentially in a major or a minor way self-sabotaging, it might be time to communicate this. So this could be anything from maybe talking to a friend, maybe receiving some advice from someone else, maybe going on some kind of a course, or communication yourself, starting to journal about these things. It may be that this becomes a larger writing that you yourself are producing. And I do have a good feeling about that. So there is this kind of sense of learning through experiencing and also communicating that learning, maybe just for yourself for now, but possibly in the future, this will become a tome. I love the image of these books here in this card. This will become a tome that will benefit others as well. Maybe you're doing a course, maybe it's not an actual physical book, but maybe it's an online course or something like this. So the overriding energy is the King of Swords, and this is about being really decisive. We've got the thread here, we've got the needle, and this beautiful king is sewing what she chooses into the plan. She's saying, I know exactly what I want. This is going to be full on embroidery. So, you know, I'm stitching together what I need, but I'm also separating out the things that I don't need. So it's a time to be really decisive rather than indecisive, and clear on what needs to be cut out, if you like, if we're looking at it from the swords perspective, in order to bring that fire, that passion and that forward movement through, but in a very controlled and healthy way with these two kings upright. It's a really powerful energy. There's just this one thing that's crossing that needs to be attended to. And the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse in your root of your spread. So reversed Wheel of Fortune can be something along the lines of, you know, you're not feeling lucky right now. You might not be feeling like things are turning in your favor, but the fact is, although I don't see a magician here, I've got another King of Swords over here though, and another Queen of Swords up here. Oh wow. Oh, not another, sorry, a Queen of Swords. So we've got two Kings of Swords, Page of Swords, and a Queen of Swords. It's really a time of using your logic to be like, do you know what? I'm going to set the boundaries around this thing. There's quite a masculine energy to it. Be decisive. Be the visionary. This is the Queen of Swords. It's a really nice, clean energy. And I think you, Virgo, will appreciate that. But don't be disturbed by this Wheel of Fortune being in reverse. We will pull another card on that very shortly. But it is, you know, you're not necessarily at your fullest and best yet. There are things that need clearing. There are things that need cutting. There are things that need sewing back into the process. And we've got, you know, the spider spinning. We've got the King of Swords sewing. We've got the Page of Swords writing, scribbling. And the King of Pentacles behind it all saying, yeah, you have the space, time and resources to do this now. So in the Self card, we have the King of Swords. So The center of the spread is King of Wands. We've got King of Swords in the overriding energy, and we have this more masculine King of Swords in the self area. So there really is this energy of authority and, what's the word I'm looking for? Authority and decisiveness and intentionality coming through in your person right now. Maybe it's because we're moving into your season and you're gonna, you know, really push into your strength. And if we're not at the time you watch this pushing into your season, then nevertheless it's a time of that nature for you right now. And then the environment card here, we've got the moon in reverse. So it's possible that the environment has been more about practicality, a little bit more about conscious thought and action, and a little bit less about the kind of shadow work, a little bit less conducive to going under the surface and maybe doing some healing work, or at times listening to your intuition. So it may be that this devil card is hovering over the King of Wands because there's something in the intuition that needs to come through and be dealt with at this time. It doesn't mean uprooting everything. It just means listen to your intuition. Just take a pause from all of the planning and the lists. And sorry, I'm saying that is a bit of a stereotype, isn't it, for Virgo? But I also do it, and I'm not a Virgo. So the hopes and fears card is the Fool card. I think there's a fear that if you go into the shadow, and we are moving towards autumn at the time I'm reading, so this can be a phase of shadow working for you, an integration of the shadow. So not trying to cure it, we're absorbing it into us, and this kind of potential addiction or habit pattern that needs to be addressed. I don't want to say resolved, I want to say addressed and integrated, could be a part of that. But the fear is that you'll start from scratch, or you'll go back to a state of being where you felt perhaps traumatized or powerless. But the Fool is a card of sometimes recklessness, but also fresh perspectives, new beginnings. And new beginnings are not a bad thing. You're always going to have new beginnings. You're not going to be immediately everything and then just be everything for the rest of your life. That's not the way that healing, that's not the way that living, that's not the way that evolving works. So you will be layering your journey and you'll have a number of new beginnings. So in the outcome card, we have the Queen of Swords. That's also the hope as well, that you start afresh and that you don't feel the weight of this kind of devil energy weighing on you. So Queen of Swords in the outcome is a somewhat softer energy than the King of Swords. And we've got two Kings of Swords here, so it has been quite, I kind of want to say harsh and intense in the energy, your particular energy, the way you're serving your energy at the moment. Queen of Swords, though, is a much more soft energy and a visionary energy. So she's looking out to the future. She's having birds bringing messages back to her. There's lots of potential there. And she really feels the capacity to fly. We've got this lovely hot air balloon, which is providing a home for all of these beautiful birds. And maybe there's something in that for you, that watching birds, observing birds is something that will benefit you, whether out and about or in your own garden or visiting a bird sanctuary, something like this. And she has this telescope and a skirt of feathers. So this is the taking flight. This is, what color are your feathers? You know, like, what else can you wear in a way that really for you feels like home, you know, and makes you feel supported as you fly. I've got this picture of Icarus in my mind, and the fear of, you know, the wax wings that have been built flying too close to the sun, or the wax that was holding the feathers in, failing, melting. But if we don't fly too close to the sun, the wax doesn't melt, you know. We just have to stay within the boundaries that we've set for ourselves. And it looks like you can set these boundaries, if perhaps somewhat too harshly sometimes, So being kinder to yourself, allowing the boundaries to sit and, you know, adjust as they need to, and allowing yourself to actually fly and have a sense of freedom rather than restriction, a sense of becoming more than you have been, or allowing yourself to experience more than you have done in the past. This is a really lovely, light, expansive energy, and that balloon is kind of an image that I would associate with that. So let's pull a few more cards. Are we just sticking with the one deck? Yes, we are. Okay. So I want to clarify the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I also want to clarify the Devil. So Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Spirit, what do you have to say further about the Wheel of Fortune in reverse? For example, what's going to flip this wheel into the upright position? Oop. Okay, the Sun. So we've got the Sun in reverse. And I really think the message is quite simple. Do not move towards things that don't bring you joy. Move towards things that bring you joy. And you might say, oh yeah, but I need to do this and that and the other, and these things, you know, just have to be done. If they're not in place, then, you know, things don't work. Well, maybe there's a way that things can work without you doing the things you have to do. Maybe you have to do them. You don't have to do them in that way. Maybe you can do them in a different way, a way that brings you joy, a way that is more organic, a way that is, you know, out in nature is what immediately comes to me, a way that is indulgent. And so the parameters for what works for you may shift and change. And that will bring you more business, if we're looking at this in a business sense, or more fulfillment in a relationship. This does feel a little bit more personal and professional to me, this reading, than love. Of course, I was not intending to do one or the other. But whatever helps us in one area is going to also help us in another. So let's have a look at the Devil. What is it we need to know? Two of Cups. Okay, so having said this is not about relationships, there is something about a relationship, a partnership, or parts of yourself not being allowed to coexist in harmony that is causing you to act out in this way. So just thinking to yourself, what is it, or who is it, you know, what friendship, what partnership is it that is causing me to return to these behaviors that make me feel safe but do not help me move forwards? Sorry, I pulled another card unintentionally. We've got Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so if you are finding yourself not as independent or fulfilled as you would like to, that is going to push you maybe to fall on other people or partnerships. You know, maybe you're good at doing the thing by yourself. Maybe you don't need to partner with someone else. Or maybe in your relationship, you need to employ some of these boundaries and say, look, you're into that, but I'm not into that, and it's really holding me back. So I'm going to, you know, move out of that. If you want to carry on, you carry on. Maybe the partnerships that you're in have not supported you in the way that you hope that they would, in which case conversations need to be had. And the Page of Swords here is saying those conversations are coming through, this communication is coming through. And to bring yourself into a more independent state emotionally, I think, and financially, is going to help move you away from and reintegrate this area of your shadow that you're looking to reintegrate. Let's have a card for the Moon. Card for the Moon for Virgo. What is the shadow work? What is the internalized stuff that needs to come out? Okay. Nine of Swords is a card of worry and sometimes night terrors and staying awake, things that keep you awake at night. So worrying, basically, I would say this is all about worry. and learning how to manage worries and concerns. We also have the Six of Pentacles in reverse coming out, and this is about giving and receiving in balance, but obviously in reverse, we are looking at somewhat of an imbalance here. Are you offering what you are receiving back, or are you asking for enough for what you are offering? And that's really important, because if you get depleted, again, you're going to fall back on old behaviors. It's, you know, the old patterning, the old comfort is going to become more appealing to you. So worry less. For example, this is just an example. Worry less about what you're charging for something, and whether people can afford it, whether people will value your service or your friendship or your kindness in this way. And just employ this kind of King of Swords energy and even the Queen of Swords energy to discern, is this an equal partnership? Not in a way that goes, this person is bad, they're not giving back to me, or vice versa. So no worry here. We're not employing the worry gene. We are saying, okay, so that's not going to work for me, and this is. There on the teapot we have a scale, and it is that justice of the balanced scale that we want. Okay, do we have anything else for Virgo? Just maybe one on the Fool. Anything else we need to know about the Fool, the new beginning? Okay, so we've got the Temperance card in reverse. So it looks as though something is currently out of balance. The Temperance card is a really beautiful card in this deck. It's this card of finding your balance, and in that way finding serenity. So balance between rest and work, balance between giving and taking, and this is going to create a brand new beginning and way of moving. I want to say a path, and there's a part in the Egyptian book of Going Forth by Day, which is an ancient text, and it says, the path I walk is the back of a snake. And so it gives this impression of this kind of undulating path. There's a crocodile in this card, the Fool card, and it is saying the path is never going to be the same or stable. It's a developing path. It's a roiling, coiling path, but it unravels, and you will be able to balance as long as you within yourself are in balance. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. I wish you could see it the way I can see it in my mind. Sometimes I live near some hills called the Malvern Hills, and sometimes when I look down the row, the line of hills, the snaking line of hills, I remember that. Every time I see it, I think the path I walk is the back of a snake. The snake may move, the snake may shift, but we balance because we ourselves are in balance. It becomes that dance. Oh, that's lovely. All right, I'm going to pull one more card on no particular position for you, just to close off the reading. So hopefully it's not something complicated. Two of Swords, yeah. So Two of Swords in reverse can be indecisiveness. So if you're facing some indecisiveness now about, do I need to let go of this? How should I implement this? Go inside, go into the center of yourself and say, what is going to bring me satisfaction and joy? Where do I want to be so that I can see further and really plan what's coming up? And that is what I have for you, Virgo. That is a beautiful reading from my perspective. We've got always work to do, but the potential of this situation for you and the energy for you is absolutely beautiful. It's the upright Wheel of Fortune. It's the Sun card. It is the Queen of Swords direct. So it's like Mercury direct, if you like. Mercury is coming at this particular time into its direct path very shortly. So sending you loads of love, Virgo. Wishing you every power in dealing with whatever it is you have going on in your life, and every success. And I hope you'll come back. I hope you'll like, subscribe, and potentially follow me on social media. Even request a personal reading if you feel you need more guidance. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. and leave a comment if you've enjoyed the reading, if it's resonated for you, so other people can see that it's worth a watch. Thank you so much.